Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jennifer Antoinette. So I know I do a lot of videos about hair care and you can always check that out anytime you can. But for today's venting session, it's about the term strong black woman. And if you want to see my 2 cents on that, stay tuned. So y'all, if y'all ever see this setup, it's usually me about to do a little venting session, hair still in the bonnets, no makeup, chilling in the bed. What I wanted to really talk about today was the term strong black woman. I've been actually thinking about this for a little while, and I just wanted to come on my channel and share my 2 cents on it. So please feel free to comment down below on what y'all think about what I'm about to say. So being a strong black woman, overall, in general, I don't see it as a negative thing. I know there's history as to why the whole term of strong black woman came about. I think identifying as a strong black woman entails a lot of what we have to endure that includes systemic racism, gender equality, just all these things of being a black woman. And I think we put that on as a suit of armor because when we go out in the world, we want everybody to know that I can do this and I'm strong enough to beat racism. I am strong enough to beat gender discrimination. I am strong enough to go through all of that. And I wear that as a suit of armor and I'm a strong black woman. And that's why in itself I do support it, because at the end of the day, I am so proud to be who I am. I am so proud to be a woman. I am proud to be a black woman. And I am proud of all those things that we've overcome. And we are still overcoming in some aspects. But that is why when someone calls me that, I don't necessarily take it as something negative. But overall, the term now exists and we call each other that as a term of endearment. Just like, and I'm gonna just throw that out there, a lot of people use the B word now as a term of endearment, or the N word. That's been a long time used between black people as a term of endearment. But now, if someone says strong black woman, it's thought of sometimes as a negative thing. Here's what I think, and this is just my opinion. To me, if someone calls me a strong black woman, I don't take it as a negative thing. Here's why. When I think of a strong black woman, I immediately think of my mother. I say that because I am the youngest of 3 children and I was born in Illinois, but my mom and she got remarried and she moved down to Tennessee. When she was divorcing her second husband, we went through some things, and that's personal, but at the same time, the things she had to endure and the things she had to overcome completely makes me think of my mom as a strong black woman. And when I say that, I sincerely mean that as a term of endearment, that she had to go through something, and not because she wanted to, but she had to do this on her own, and she got through it. Now, does that mean that my mom now does everything on her own? No, she is at times vulnerable, and she is compassionate, and she is sincere, she is emotional, she's all of that. But there are times where, because of the situation that she's been put in, she's had to be that strong woman. I mean that every time I've said it as a term of endearment. But I think having that suit of armor on all the time can be very draining. And I think sometimes we bring that into our homes. And in my opinion, I think we have to learn how to separate being a strong black woman on the outside in the world and then bringing that into our homes. And I mean that in the sense of our families. I think that that suit of armor needs to come off because you should feel comforted and protected in your home to be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more sensitive, a little bit more understanding. That suit of armor doesn't have to be against that man or that woman that you're with when you're in the house. I think a lot of times because we carry so much of that when we're in the outside world, and for a lot of us, if we work outside the home, we tend to spend a lot more of our time outside the home. So we're having that suit of armor on as being a strong black woman all the time. But when you come home, you feel as though it has to be the same way. You don't have time to be vulnerable. You don't have time to be this person that you feel as though can let their guard down. I've had to learn that the hard way, not necessarily hard way, but I've had to have time to think to myself, am I doing that in my own home? Me personally, I am a manager. I do work at a company. I try not to bring my work into my YouTube channel. You do have to make decisions at work. You do have to do certain things when you're at work, but that mentality when you come home, sometimes it's hard to get rid of, but I do my best to do it because my significant other shouldn't have to experience that in our own home. And I think that's very important for that separation to be there. When you're single, you're living in that single life and you're living in that single moment. So you're used to doing things for yourself. But once you get into a relationship, it's okay to have someone do something for you. And there were times, I remember one day, my significant other asked me, he was like, hey, what time are you going to work? I said in about 15 to 20 minutes. And he said, well, in 10 minutes, I'm going to go downstairs and warm your car up. Immediately, I wanted to say, oh, you don't have to do that. Bear with me on this. In my mind, I was going to leave out the house a few minutes early, go downstairs and warm up my car, and then take the walk to take the trash out while my car was warming up, and then go to work. But I had this man who's trying to do something nice for me, to protect me, and the first thing I want to say is, oh no, thank you. I'm emasculating this man of being who he wants to be and trying to do something for his woman. So I said, okay, thank you. Another time, he was driving home. He was like, all right, well, when I get to the house, I'm going to drop my car off and then pick your car up and go fill your gas tank up. Immediately, I wanted to say, well, you don't have to do that because I was just going to stop and get gas the next day on my way to work. I wanted to say that so bad, but I just stopped and I was like, okay. And you have to be vulnerable and you have to be aware of what that man is trying to do in his own house. He used to ask me a whole lot, did I want some help if I was folding clothes? And mind you, the things I'm about to name are cooking, cleaning, and stuff like that. Those are not women designated chores, because I'm not insinuating that he doesn't do it, but what I'm about to say is I would always do it, and then he would ask, do I need some help? Or he would try to help me. And then I used to stop him because I just didn't want him to help. And then one day I had a whole bunch of clothes that I needed to fold. I did not feel like folding those clothes. And I looked at him, I was like, why don't you help me? And then the first thing he said was, because you always tell me that you don't need my help. And I was like, you know how you want to say something real smart, but you can't because he got you? Because I probably did tell him, I don't need your help. And he got tired of hearing that he don't need my help, so he stopped asking. What I'm saying is, it's okay to be vulnerable, but I want you to check yourself within that moment. Are you being too strong in your household? Are you appearing to be someone that feels as though they don't need somebody in their household with them? It's okay to be single and be independent if that's what you want to do. But in my opinion, you cannot have an independent state of mind and be in a relationship and require that man be the man, because an independent person is always going to be an independent mode. I think we just have to learn how to better protect our Black women. I think that because we put on that suit of armor so much that they feel as though they have to take on so much, they're left feeling empty sometimes. You know, they're left feeling exhausted. They're left feeling like they're not good enough, that they can't do more. If we're going to call strong Black women that in itself, it has to be in a way as though it's encouraging them that they can do these things that they're afraid to do, maybe. But in the same time, let them know that if they need help, that help is there. You just have to find an equal balance of how you want to be portrayed. And being a Black woman, I fortunately have the experience of being Black and being a woman at the same time. And the two, for me, are equal. They do not separate. That's why I think the term of endearment of strong Black woman exists. At the same time, I'm not saying that sometimes that saying that you are a strong Black woman can't be negative, because let's be honest, there are times where, because of that narrative, sometimes you have to fight harder because we're not looked at as equally as maybe other people are. And so you have to fight a little bit harder to be recognized, but that in itself makes us vulnerable, and sometimes it makes us feel as though we're not good enough. We definitely need to protect our Black women. In reality, again, if someone were to call me that, I don't take it as a negative thing, but I do understand why people would want to not be called that, because we want to be equally treated as other women in the world, in terms of importance, in terms of attention, in terms of anything that is associated with a positive outlook. that's how we want to be viewed. But in our own home, guys, we can be equally yoked. We can pray about it and have a relationship that we are meant to have. But at the same time, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be passionate. It's okay to be all of those things. It's okay to root for feminism. And you can have a really, really, really good balance of being a strong woman and being vulnerable and being feminine and being sensual and all this. I think one of the greatest examples, at least for me, that everyone can identify with, the character of Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable, she went out in that world as a lawyer. She was hitting it. She was a good lawyer. She argued her cases. She did her job. People flocked to her for advice. She was this person to be reckoned with. You see what I'm saying? But she was in her own home. She handled her kids. Y'all remember how she went off on Elvin? Y'all remember off how she went on Vanessa when Vanessa went to go see The Wretched? You remember all that stuff. But you also remember how when it came to her husband, she was very sensual. She was very giving. She was very loving. She was very understanding. She was very equally yoked with that man. It was never him demanding her stuff. It was never anything of that. It was simply, I am a woman. I am a black woman. I am a woman that can do all things and be considered a great mother, a great lawyer, a great wife, all of those things. And she was very much a feminist in terms of she knew that women can do great things like men could. But when she was in the home, she very much understood that I am a wife, I am a mother, and I am equally yoked to this man that I am married to. I really love that. So I try to take that into my own life because I feel as though that is an equal balance. So y'all, in my opinion, it can really go both ways. If you don't want to be called a strong black woman, then that's your prerogative. You definitely can, fight the good fight and say, no, don't call me a strong black woman. I'm just a woman and I'm this, I am that. That's perfectly fine. But if there are other people that say, yes, I am a strong black woman, and you embrace it and you take it, then that's you, and that's totally fine. All I'm saying is I think that there is a time and a place for everything, and you can be strong black woman all the time if you want to, but in your own home, if you have a significant other, make sure that your home is set and your vibe is good and the status of your household is good. You don't always have to be that strong black woman every single place you go. Let that man be that man and let him be the one that does it. This is not about feminism, although I am in support of feminism. It can be however you want it to be. You can be equally yoked. You can do whatever it is you want to do. Your relationship is your relationship. Pray about it, pray on it, and then work through it with your partner. That's all I'm saying. But the whole notion of a strong black woman, I don't take it offensively. I never have. And at this point, I never will. So I hope all that makes sense. This is just a quick rant that I wanted to say. Of course, there's more in-depth conversation about it, but I just wanted to give my 2 cents about it. But I hope y'all enjoyed the little venting session. Again, you are more than welcome to check out my channel. I do have a couple other videos of venting and a little story time, but mostly I do have a lot of videos on my channel that are about natural hair care brands from Etsy and just the reviews on those, and then 4-week updates. So please feel free to check that out. But I do this in every video. I wanted to show you guys the shirt for today, and I thought this was so appropriate. Not only is it's February, so it's Black History Month, but I'm gonna show you my shirt real quick, and it's so consistent with what we were talking about today. It says Ida, Maya, Fannie Lou, Harriet, and Sojourner, all strong black women. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.